Hello everyone. Well, it's the last day to share our Inked Botanicals DSP ideas with you. And this week, or today, I'm using, this paper here for my idea. All right. Oh, and I'm also using this paper. So I've got those two papers. Now, I am using my go-to greeting stamp set again, and I'm using the Just a Note. I am using some of the Lost Lagoon ribbon. I'm using Pretty Peacock ink. I am using the medium daisy punch. I have some of the sparkle gems that I'm going to be using. And for my cardstock, I have a piece of Pretty Peacock that's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Very Vanilla that's 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of Pretty Peacock that is 2 1/4 by 4. I have a piece of the Designer Series paper that's 3 3/4 by 2. I wrote that backwards, sorry. I have a piece of, my pieces are all stuck together. I have a piece of Very Vanilla, I can't get it, that is 3/4 of an inch. This is a scrap. I'm going to be cutting it off, but I didn't want to cut it until I had stamped it. And I have a piece of Pretty Peacock that's 3/4 of an inch wide. I have a piece of the Designer Series paper with those stripes on it that's 1/2 inch by 5 1/4. And I have some scraps of that same pattern, and I have two because I have to punch 3 daisies. And I missed this one, but I'm doing the pick-a-punch. So I've got that. So let's get everything out of the way, but what I'm dealing with first, which is going to be this and these two pieces. All right, so I'm going to take the pieces off, and I'm going to start with my daisies, and I'm going to punch out one, and I'm flipping it around just because it's easier. I'm right-handed, so all right, there's one, and I need 3, so that's why I grabbed another piece. Here's 2, and I should have enough to get a third one out over here. All right, so there we have our daisies. Now we're going to put those together. Well, the first thing that I do is I curl mine, and I take one of them and I curl the petals down. Now, usually I do this with cardstock, so you can be a little firmer with it. With the pattern paper, you want to be very careful so you don't rip the petal off, or you'll be doing, he loves me not. So just be careful with that. All right, so there's that. Now, let me find my glue dots, and we'll glue those together. I'm going to move these two over just temporarily. Now, if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe by clicking the button below. And if you hit the bell, which is the notifications button, when I upload a video, you will be notified. Now, when you go to pull this off, be very careful. You don't want to pull it the wrong way and rip your petal off. All right, so that one goes on like that. And then this one, I need a glue dot on the back of it. All right, so yeah, that one came off really easy. If it doesn't come off easy, try pulling in a different spot in a different direction. All right, so there's my flower, and let's add our gems. And I'm going to use the black ones. I love, like, my favorite colors to use black with before were, what's it called? It was retired, Bermuda Bay. So I'm moving on, and this one I think is Lost Lagoon. So I'll be using Lost Lagoon with black. And I'm just adding these right in the center. All right, come on. Sometimes I just have to pick it up. All right, so there's that. And if it's off a little, it's no big deal. There. All right, now I'm gonna take my Pick-a-Punch, the banner Pick-a-Punch, and I'm gonna use the banner end. I hardly ever use that end. I don't know why. And I'm gonna put this in and I'm gonna punch it. Then I'm gonna put this one in and punch it also. And then I'm done with my banner punch. All right, I'm gonna flip this over because it's not going in the center very well, and I want it in the center. All right, come on. There we go. This must have been just a fraction wider, and it didn't want to go in right. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sentiment and my ink, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on my vanilla banner. And I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper. I'll grab this one. I just want to see if this is even or not. Yeah, okay. So it is. All right. When I put them down, I never know if it's straight or not. So I always test it. All right. There's that. Now I'm going to let that dry because it was really juicy. So let's get our card put together. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove our pieces, and we're going to fold and burnish our card base. And then I'm going to add my piece of Very Vanilla with some glue. Now, Vicki is doing this with me, so make sure you check out her card to see what she did with this paper. All right, so there's that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my strip across the middle. All right. And I did not emboss my panel. You can if you want. Now I want this in the middle, and it's 4 inches. So hold on, I've got to readjust here. Okay, 1, 2. So it's 1. Right there's the middle. Okay. Love my grid for that reason. And by using the other one at the other end, I can get it on there straight. All right, now we're going to add our pattern paper to our panel. I have to say that this paper, and there's a plaid paper in here that's the pool party, and I don't know if it's, no, it's Lost Lagoon, because this doesn't have Pretty Peacock in there, but I wanted contrast. They're my 2 favorites. Oh my gosh, I just love those patterns. I have none of it left, as you can see. I'm down to strips and pieces, but I will use the others. All right, now we're going to center this. I'm going to put my card down straight, and I'm going to center it side to side. And if I center these 2 pieces here as best I can, it'll be centered top to bottom. All right, the next thing I need to do is to add a piece of ribbon, and I'm going to use a simple, I don't know what you call it. If you know what this is called, flag, that's it, flag. Now, to keep my flag together, I do things a little differently. I don't know how others do it, but I take a glue dot and put it there close to the middle because I want it to stay. I got my finger caught in it. I want it to stay like this. So by putting I want the top to be open like that. By putting a glue dot, it helps hold it there. And then I'm going to take another glue dot, put it on the bottom, and this is going to go on the back of my flower. The flower is going to go on with dimensionals. So I'm going to put a dimensional here and a dimensional here. And I'm going to remove my backs. So we have used Bright and Beautiful, the gingham, Glorious Gingham. Oh, this goes right about there. I want some of that to show. And we have used the inked and tiled paper. Leave me a comment and tell me which is your favorite. Now I'm going to put this on here like so. But what I want to do is I want to do a measurement. And I'm going to cut it right about here. Because I'm going to tuck this underneath. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. But I'm going to tuck the tip underneath here. And the banner will go across the card. So let me know which color or which pattern paper we've used so far has been your favorite. I've had fun playing with all of them. All right. Now, there's just a slight border on the sides, but more on the end where the flag is, because I wanted that to show up. All right, I have got this. I'm going to very carefully pick up my petals, shove this underneath. Oh, I was a little too close. I should have moved it over, but I got it. There we go. When you do that, when you stamp it a little closer to your flagged end. And there's our card for today. And to finish off the card, I used the image from the inked and tiled stamp set, and I stamped the inside and the envelope. I hope you've enjoyed this week with the inked and tiled DSP ideas. Leave me a message and tell me what you think of this paper. It's lots of fun to play with, and it hits all of the seasons, so it might be something you want to think about. I hope you have a great day. Bye.